Hello. So good afternoon. My name's Lena.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. I'll be your social worker today. But before we start, let me introduce you. I'm Lena. Recently out of school. I took a social service worker course, so I am able to do your counseling session today. And just for the record, do you want to state your full name?
My name is George Corey Mitchell West. I go by Corey, please. Yeah. Date of birth?
No, I don't need any of that.
I don't want to disclose that anyway.
Just before we get started, I'm just going to let you know a little bit about our consent. You're here voluntarily.
Correct.
Anything you state, though, in issues or regards to self-harm or abuse or anything like that, I do have to report to the proper authorities.
Okay.
At any given time throughout this session, you can withdraw or say, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to talk anymore. Or whatever, it's up to you.
Okay.
But just so you are aware that if anything is abusive or I believe you're trying to self-harm yourself or harm others, I do have to report it to the proper authorities.
That's only fair.
All right.
Yeah. And we could drink coffee during this session.
You can drink your coffee if you'd like.
Fantabulous.
So, do you want to start by telling me what brings you in today?
I'm just going to kind of self-reflect, convey a message, and just release some past history, kind of update my new position in life, where I'm standing.
Okay, perfect. You can start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Now, something happened over there. Where do I start? I guess I would go back to 2001, September 8th, the worst evening of my life, the game changer. We went out after a hockey game, and within the hour, I was on life support. Lost 20 years of my life. I watched a 17-year-old defenseman of mine, Tyler Lawson, get hurt pretty bad as well. The girl I was with for 5 years, she was also hurt trying to save us. And after that, it was nothing but medical, hospitals, St. Joe's Hospital in Hamilton, for the inpatient ABI clinic, which those people were incredible. They helped me open up and realize that just because one portion of my life, my identity at that time was over, doesn't mean that you can't begin something new. So I needed to learn that, and that's where I kind of directed myself to tap into my past experiences and my past upbringing with my grandfather, working on a sawmill. So it was all about forest products, and kind of had to tap into who I was as a person, even though I was under the gun, with pretty high up people, family members that were involved that night. So I had a lot on my plate to deal with, and I had to kind of battle through it and prove to myself and family and others that what was happening was not going to be the way for the rest of my life. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting story, and I'd like to write a book about it, which I have everything drafted down, but somebody has it in their possession. I'm trying to get it back so that I can go with Author House Publications and kind of get my message out to people.
Okay.
And that story.
And so do you want to start more from the beginning? Sort of where you played hockey, what years you played hockey? Like, do you want to start there and move up, or do you just want to? Just so I can sort of follow. I have some kind of a background to know.
We could go back to like when I was a young fella. Started in Cannington. I went from there up to the captain's position for AAA team,
Mhm.
Central Ontario Wolves. For 4 to 5 years, I was captain there, and I went straight from there. I never played midget. I went right to junior A hockey. Signed on with the Relay Terriers, Coochie Terriers, and from there, I I went to the under 17 program for Team Canada. That was challenging. I tell you,
I
for a
bet.
young guy, the physical and mental you go through on that, it was incredible. So yeah, go Team Canada. Um, Tried out for that. Did well. Highly recognized for that. I went to the Newmarket Hurricanes after that. We set, actually, we broke all junior A records at that time, so it was huge. Um, and I went for a meeting with the Aurora Tigers, met with all the higher up, um, the big guys, big
That'd be exciting.
businessmen. It was. They kind of took us, the guys they wanted to play for their team. I was invited, so we went to the big mansions, communities off the Yonge Street in Aurora, and they kind of just had this huge, massive mansion and big pool, and everything was loaded up with everything we needed, and it was just like, come play for us, sign on the dotted line, and we'll show you what we have and what we have to offer. And yeah, so it was probably the best experience in hockey I ever had. Was playing for that team that year. I don't know. I have no idea. So it was just one of those days. Um, so what happened was I ended up doing really well for that team as well. I was the alternative captain. So one game, I can't remember who we were playing, but oh yeah, it was Newmarket, my last team, the big rival at Yonge Street. We we kind of had it out, and there was big wages behind the scenes about who was going to win and who was the better team, and it just happened to be we were tied, and there was only maybe a couple minutes left in the game, and I'll never forget. I was in the corner, and I just sighted the goalie up, and I literally passed him the puck, and he scored on himself for us to win the game. I mean, we just, it was unbelievable, the experience. You could hear everybody and all the kids used to wear my jersey in the stands, yelling my last name. So hockey was my thing, and it was the best part of my life at that time. And after that day, Colgate University from New York phoned me directly at my house in Manila. My grandmother was there as a witness, my aunts, my father, and they asked me if I wanted to play, if I ever thought about a scholarship to their their program, Colgate Raiders. So I was just like, absolutely, I wanted to go to the AHL, but for sure I wouldn't pass up an opportunity. And they invited me down to go see um, their program, their school, everything had to offer, and that was huge because that's Ivy League. I'm
Hmm.
just a little town guy, and this is big, right? So that's the second major feat in life I had. Before that, I made it to the United States for track and field from Cannington Public School. So this was like the next big thing. It was one step closer to the big NHL where my dreams as a kid and teenager.
All little boys' dreams are to make the
Yes,
NHL,
especially
right?
Canadians. Oh yes, yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful dream to have and to follow. You got to have support and a good support team. So off the ice as well. But yeah, that one night we just went out to meet new people, and we were surrounded by 80 people, and 20 of them jumped us, and we were beaten so bad that I had to go on life support. When I woke up, I had a traumatic brain injury, um, physical from all the kicks and things I was hit with. It was just too much for me to return to hockey. So all the greatness in 1 hour, over 20 years of my life was a snap of a finger.
Big change.
It was. And years later, I couldn't understand why I was getting in so much trouble and why things were happening the way they were. Um, And then I understood that no matter what happened to me, there was powers behind the scene that were at play. Because like 6 years after that incident happened, I was informed that um, a couple of the boys at the time that were involved in our tragedy that night, their parents were high up, high-ranking officials, crown attorneys, chiefs of police, and it wasn't good for me. It was not good. But I had to fight through that and speak to the right people to kind of get better, so that when things were gonna come at me full force, I'd be able to stand up for myself. But it happened too fast, and again, in the law, I was beat down pretty good. So it was another lesson. Um, I had to learn, and I had to help people through the way while I was trying to build myself back up to educate and understand and learn and heal, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. It was hard to be not 100% and help other people, but I had to do it. Something that came naturally to me. And as a team player and a captain of a team, you gotta just soldier on. You gotta move forward. You gotta help people no matter what your position is in life. So it was another big experience, learning experience for me. So I'm just here to kind of express that. No matter how bad things are, you just keep pushing forward. And when things come at you, you just kind of reflect, and it hurts, but you got to make it through. You have to, no matter what.
Mm-hmm. It's a good way to look at things.
Yes, and you have to give yourself credit too. A lot of people give a lot of credit to the spiritual world, like all of it. Well, you have to give yourself some credit too. You have to believe in you. If you don't believe in you, what else is there, you know, other than what your teachings are? So, just dig down deep, believe in yourself, and make things happen, even when everybody's pointing a finger at you. And, yeah, it's a tough thing, but you got to do it.
Okay.
You have to be inspiring somehow, some way.
How do all these new changes in your life make you feel?
At the start, from the beginning, I didn't want anything to do with it. I thought it would be easier just to, and it would have been. It would have been a lot easier just to end it all and just not come back that night. Just be done with it. And something in me, just one vision I had. You can be a quitter and come with me, or you can tough it out and see what the future holds within. I thought it was going to be easy. I thought I was going to be up on blades the next day skating, and the NHL was a couple days away, or university scholarship, but it wasn't. It was um, big hospitals with big time doctors, big time therapists, um, addictions to medications that nobody tells you about. It's, that controls you. So you got to fight against those as well, which I currently enrolled myself into a civil class action lawsuit um, to help make up and correct things that were done that I was not in control of during that time, and kind of just lead the way for other people. That was a pretty damaging time. It was really tough, really tough. But somebody had to do it, and I was chosen for that job, I guess, to make it through. But I needed people, and that's a big thing, and that's another reason why I'm here. People like you, people like your superiors, they're needed, required.
Sounds like you have a good support team at home too.
Oh yes, I had to learn though, even because some people are family, they're not the best for you. You have to sometimes a person off the street could become your best friend, your best ally, your best advocate, your best mentor. Where sometimes people in your family they get frustrated with you, or because you're not the way you were before, and you have to watch out for those, right? Everything potential to be a trap or detrimental to you during your growth, even in life, in all families and all functions. So you have to pay attention to that. Um, Friends, family, um, going out. Like I don't go out anymore. I have a real issue with big crowds. It's safer that way for me. I don't like loud crowds. Um, Even with family members, stuff like that. Certain people I just get that vibe from. Um, I don't have anything else to do with hockey anymore, except for if somebody comes along that I believe in, then I would put my name on for them to help advance them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so it's a lot at work, so you don't really pay attention to until you get to talk about it. So, I don't know what I'd like to do today.
Okay. Which part do you feel comfortable starting out with? What do you want to?
Um, where to go next? Hmm, good question. Where would I like to start now? Continue on with work, I guess. So
Okay.
business. My second phase, or my third chapter, I guess you could say, in life. I was starting a business. I pondered over what I was going to do. I worked at my father's butcher shop for many years. Helped me push through. I took my grandfather's teachings in the forest industry, and I wanted something of my own. Who was I? Who could I express myself as a name and my work ethics and my my understanding of life and my lessons and what was I going to do? And how would I apply this to a business? So I chose Heaven's Soldier Enterprise because that's who I believe myself to be. And everything I fought for, it's faith in myself, it's soldiering on through many different types of wars and battles, um, not giving up, just keep going through and help provide for my country and my people and the little ones that depend on me, father and grandfather, uncle, and like it's what I had to do. And I
Mm-hmm.
love forestry, so I started climbing trees. I learned the hard way. I slipped once at 2.5 feet up and landed on a rock and knocked myself out. It was too much. But I learned from that. Like, yeah, no, when you're in a tree, it doesn't matter how high up or how low to the ground, you got to be very careful. Make sure you're tied in proper.
Proper safety gear and
Yes,
mechanisms. Yeah.
yes. You're not Superman. You can't fly.
No.
Um, so yeah, from there it was just one step at a time. Sometimes you don't just get up and run. Sometimes you got to walk. So I opened up an arboriculture tree removal business and went at it myself. Hired some people to help me out, get through a bunch of jobs, help them to finance their family members, and just kind of grew from there. And then I got myself positioned to get into the forestry industry, and I fell in love with forestry. That's peaceful because I'm in the forest. You're surrounded by animals. I like to be alone, do my own thing. I hire some people. And I set up campsites, like with trailers, all the machinery. Sometimes there's no Wi-Fi, so some people can't hack that. There's no
Yeah.
running water. Sometimes you gotta have bird baths, and it's physically demanding business. Um, I always dreamed, I had a vision that I'd own my own big skidder one day, one of the big ones. So I imported a 535B cat grapple skidder from Constantia, New York, just last year, and I'm customizing it, rebuilding it from top to bottom. kind of like my self-image. You know, I had to rebuild myself inside out, top to bottom, and everything around me. And that's kind of what I call Monster, is my machine's name. So big. It's a self-reflection of who I am as a person. And it's because you're a little beat up and a little rusty, and it doesn't mean somebody can't come along and believe in you and help you get to where you gotta go. So that's really touching on that.
Well, that's a good outlook.
And not a lot of people understand why I did that, but that's kind of what I did. I took something.
So it's kind of therapeutic to you to.
It is.
Sort of.
I can express myself through that. Something that was glorious was abused and needed to be re-engineered, I guess you could say. Back to its former glory. And it's a long, hard process. Expensive, time-consuming, but in the end, it is going to be worth it.
Well, I look forward to seeing the end result of that.
It's going to be spectacular.
I'll have to take a picture.
I have a YouTube video. I have many different business websites. Another thing I had to train myself to do was use computers. Now I have all my own business ads and all these social media things going on for my company, and I did it all by myself. So it was kind of interesting. Another thing to learn, to fight against being kicked in the head so many times. It was a battle, but you learn if you can push through.
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm. That story. You can see the light through the end of the tunnel. Sometimes it's not there. You have to push through the darkness and find your way. And in the end, it'll be there.
So, what do you want to receive out of coming to see me? Like out of your counseling sessions? What do you hope to your end result to be?
Just be able to express and talk about these things and let myself understand that there's nothing I could have done that night any different that would have changed their minds from doing to us what they did, and that everything I did, no matter what, no matter how many fingers were pointed at me, no matter how many police officers came to come and get me, I did the right thing on all levels and all accounts. And the people needed to understand instead of being closed-minded. And I did what I did. I am where I am because I believed in me and I did the right things. And anything that needed to be worked on, I did that. I put that effort in. So being here is kind of just self-reflect.
Oh.
And hopefully I can advance further and help other people. And yeah.
So what are some future goals that we could be maybe looking at?
I don't know, maybe a little more understanding of socializing. It's especially being in business, you're supposed to be out there and you're supposed to be talking with people, and a little more closed off. And maybe I should be a little more open, get out there more and promote myself and my company more. But I do that through social media. I'm a little more comfortable with that. But having that confidence again to go out and not have that worry of something terrible happening to you, right? That'd be a really good start.
Okay.
Done well, but you can always progress.
That was always steps to move forward, right? Okay. Well, today, time permitting, would you like to book another appointment today? Because we're getting towards
Absolutely.
the end.
That's
Um,
fine.
and maybe we can continue on next week.
For sure.
Is there a specific day that's good for you?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you want
I have to check my schedule, but I'm sure, being my own boss, that I can make some sort of
make some sort of arrangement?
arrangement, yes.
So say Monday at 2 o'clock. We'll book you in. If we have to change it,
For sure, I'll take notes.
give me a call and we can change it if we have to.
Okay. Keep that open, for sure.
It was a pleasure meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
All right.
Finish my coffee.
You can finish your coffee.